Hey there, welcome back. Before we begin, I just want to remind you to leave a review. If you enjoy anything about this podcast, I'd greatly appreciate a review on Apple or subscribe on YouTube. It would really help this podcast get discovered by more people and help more people learn about psychedelics, sacred plant medicines, purpose, and conscious entrepreneurship. So thank you. So, today in this solo episode, I'm going to be talking about this concept of having to heal first. So, I've been hearing this for years from potential clients and even current clients who are inside of my group mastermind program or work with me privately, where very often they feel this need to have to fully heal before they can help others heal. So, first things first, stop healing. Just kidding. I don't mean it like that. I just want to start with one concept that there's actually nothing to heal. Yes, of course, we all know that there's trauma and the human experience is one that is just an inevitable part of the human experience, includes suffering and sadness and anger and jealousy and whatever other feelings you might experience. It's called being human, and there's really nothing you can do about it. We can't get rid of these feelings. They are part of the full experience of being human, which has to include these what we might call like negative feelings. But here's the thing. So I've heard people say this to me, like when they're thinking about starting up, let's say a coaching or healing business where they want to help others. They say, "Oh, but I can't help someone until I've helped myself fully." Or I can't be a healer until I've healed. And I've written about this a lot for a few years. I even have, I think, some blog posts on my website, and I've written emails to my community about this. And I say, show me a human who's alive right now who is fully healed. Even the Dalai Lama, who's probably one of the most, enlightened human beings living on the planet right now, will probably say that he's not fully healed because he's here learning and growing and experiencing, and he still has the feelings of sadness and anger and whatever else he feels. So I mean, it's like, who is truly fully healed besides the Buddha or Jesus, right? These ascended masters. So like, let's just get that across first. A second, here's the thing. There's, when I say there's nothing to heal, I mean, that sounds a little controversial, but yes, there is this aspect of wanting to grow and feel better and get past everything that's stopping us in our lives. And maybe this is the path of healing. But at the same time, you are actually perfect exactly as you are right now. I know you don't believe that. It's very hard for a lot of people to believe, like, oh, I'm not perfect because I still have issues. But the reality is, you're always going to have issues. Again, this is part of the human experience. There's no way to really run and avoid your issues. And actually, the true healing process is to embrace them all and to see them with love and acknowledge them and bring them to the forefront instead of pushing them away and wanting to get rid of. You can't ever really get rid of anything. It has to be integrated. This is what it means, the integration, to fully integrate, the dark part of yourself, the shadow aspects of yourself. This is the path of healing. But what I want to talk about today is this concept where people feel like, oh, I can't really help others because I'm still helping myself. And I want you to know that even the greatest of all teachers and healers and coaches and shamans and meditation gurus or whoever, whoever you follow out there, they're always on their own path of healing and learning and expanding and growing themselves. So take, for instance, I work with a coach. She's done a lot of work on herself. Her business has blown up. She does about, I don't know, 15 to $20 million a year, and she's quite young. She's in her 30s. So, but the reality is she still has mentors. She still has people that she's working with. She's still doing inner work on herself. There's still something to learn. There's still a path to growth, even if her business is great, even if she has a great relationship, even if she's emotionally regulated and her nervous system is calm and regulated. Yes, of course, she goes through challenges and ups and downs and things that don't work out. I mean, this is part of life. So, there's this sense that a lot of people have where they feel like because one of my current clients said this to me the other week. She said, "Well, I'm still on the path of healing." And I said, "Well, you're actually, as long as you're on this path of healing, you're going to be on this path of healing probably the rest of your life." I mean, I don't know many people who start on the medicine path and a spiritual self growth, personal development path, and then just quit. I mean, I don't know. Maybe you get to the point where you slow down and maybe don't do. It's not about like the doing and more medicines and more healers and more coaches and more guides. I mean, I've definitely slowed down over the years, although I do have a lot of support in my life. But I'm not on this like mission to be a perfect human being. I'm just here to constantly be looking inward at myself and asking, what is it inside of me that's stopping me from creating the life that I want? So yes, there is an aspect of doing the work, but then it's also like there is no work to do. You're just a human and it's life to be lived and enjoyed and really bringing it into this place of integration and acceptance and love. There's a book I actually recommended to not only this client who said that to me, but all my clients by Matt Kahn called Whatever Arises, Love That, or Love This. Whatever arises, no, sorry. Whatever arises, love this. And it is about this idea of, whatever it is that's inside of you, whether it's you feeling like, I need to heal, I need to heal, I need more, I need more, I need more medicine, I need more, dietas, I need more this. It's not about that. It's actually about bringing it into the light and really treating it like a baby that needs love, these parts of yourself that you're looking to heal, the trauma or the patterns in your life or the habits or the defense mechanisms that are getting in the way of whatever it is you want, the patterns that constantly repeat over and over and over, the loops that you get in. These are really just wanting to be seen and integrated. And that actually is the path of healing it. It's not about pushing it away or wanting to stop it or wanting to get rid of it. And here's the thing. Because I've talked to my clients about this, I've talked to potential clients about this. The interesting part is when you actually start to shift your life into a path of service to others, meaning giving and helping others and going beyond just helping yourself. So you might have been on this path of healing for the last 10, 15, 20 years or your whole life, whatever it is. And maybe now you're like, okay, I feel this call to help others. The reality is you're still going to be on your journey like everybody. But now that you're shifting into a place of making it beyond just you and your what I call my personal drama, it's like it goes beyond just you and all your issues and your sadness and your depression and your anger and your patterning and your defense mechanisms. It's like when you start to make it about other, in service to the greater good, in service to the whole, what happens is those issues that you've been spending all this time healing, they actually start to heal on their own. They start to dissipate. They start to have less charge and less hold over you. And what happens is the healing that you've been searching for all this time actually is exponentially more, let's say, more effective, or exponentially the healing happens at an exponential rate when you're giving to others and making it about the other, about service versus me. And I personally believe this is actually one of the answers to creating a better world for all and creating a transformed planet. Meaning if all the people on this kind of path, the healing path, the spiritual path, the personal development path, the growth path, the medicine path, whatever you want to call it, all of the above, if everybody shifted more towards how can I help others? How can I help this planet? How can I serve the earth? This is something I ask myself, and I ask, what I believe in, great creator every day. And I ask the earth, I speak to earth and I say, show me how I'm here to serve. Like, use me as a vessel. I don't even care what it is I'm here to do. It's like, you are here to just use me as a vessel to serve what in whatever way that I'm here to serve during this incredible time that I've been incarnated with this gift, this one gift of life. And the more you can just come back to that place of like asking, how can I be of service? How can I be of help? How can I support others? How can I contribute to this planet? And it doesn't mean that you're here to necessarily save, thousands of people's lives. I mean, maybe you are, but maybe it's just something as simple as putting your artwork out there in the world. Maybe it's something as simple as finally recording your music and sharing it. Maybe it's something like planting a garden and just enjoying it and giving food to your family. It doesn't have to be like, oh, I have to be the world famous coach that has billions of followers and I have now taught, 10 million people how to do something. No, I mean, not everybody is here to like essentially save the planet or be the next Dalai Lama. I mean, of course, go think big. Please be limitless, because we are limitless human beings and there's a potential for anything. Like, and we don't even know our potential. But the point of this episode is really to have you understand that there's nowhere to go. There's nothing to get to. There's not one place to get to before you can then help others. And what I always say to my clients, when they bring up things like this, like, how can I coach others if I'm still learning? It's like, well, how do you know when you're ready to help others? Like, what is it that lets you know, okay, that day is the day I'm going to be ready to have clients? What is it? What's the indicator? I'm curious. Like, write it down. Use this moment. Write it down. Like, what is the one moment you will know, now I'm okay. Now I'm enough. Now I'm healed enough. Now I've done enough work that now I can help people. It's like, well, do you need to go through 25 years of trainings first? Do you need to have done 50 free coaching sessions before you can go and ask for money? Do you need to have, I don't know, drank ayahuasca 300 times, but like 269 is not enough? You know what I mean? Or let me guess. Like, it's like, okay, maybe when you've done breath work 100 times, then you're okay to teach breath work to people. I don't know. I mean, here's the thing. This world that we're in is, no, I shouldn't say this world. The human experience, right? So the human experience is that we all have limiting beliefs, right? We put these limitations around ourselves, around our lives, and tell ourselves these stories of why we're not capable of X, Y, or Z, or why we're not enough, X, Y, or Z to do something or to be something. And usually what I found over the years, when people tell themselves these stories about, I'm not healed enough, or I haven't done enough training or enough work on myself in order to help people, what that actually is beneath the surface is a wound that's running you. And don't worry, it's running most of our society, and including myself on some level. Like, I'm very aware of where my wounds are. But what happens is, it's like this wounded child is running in the background and running your patterning and running all the decisions you make for yourself. So very often, this feeling of having to do more healing or having to do more training or not being enough is coming from this deeper level underlying wound of not being good enough, or not being worthy enough, or not feeling perfect enough. Which, if you break it down and you just keep going deeper, like, what's beneath all that? Like, what's beneath this feeling of, I need to heal more before I can help others? Okay, so it's like, here, well, where's that feeling of healing coming from? Like, that feeling of needing to heal, needing to heal, needing to heal, needing more, needing more, needing more. And I only know this from my own experience. Trust me. Like, I've been on this path for a very long time where it's like, okay, that didn't do it. Well, let me try the other thing. And it's like, it finally gets to a point where you realize, yes, all of these tools and medicines and, supports that we have are beautiful, but really there's nowhere to get to and there's nowhere to go because you are inherently perfect as you are now. Meaning, like, okay, I am perfect in this very present moment. Yes, of course, I'm going to grow and expand. That's part of life. That's the journey. That is part of the human experience. But the more you can actually start to ask yourself, like, what is beneath all of this? Like, what am I trying to really cover up? What is this mechanism that's running? And very often, this need to do more and more and more and more is actually coming from this core wound of not enoughness or not feeling worthy, or maybe there was a programming in your upbringing or ancestral. It doesn't even matter the story of where it came from, but there was something in you from a very young age that believed like you're not worthy enough. But the reality is you're worthy of everything you want and need and desire. You are worthy of it right this very second. Doesn't matter if you've healed for 2 weeks or 25 years. Like, it doesn't really make a difference. You are a worthy human being, period. And that's really a hard concept for most people to even grasp, especially when there's, a lot of people on this path of healing and growth and medicine work and personal development. There's just this constant like need for more. But in the end, it's like Eckhart Tolle said this in, I think he wrote it in the New Earth book. I don't He wrote it in one of his books. I don't know which book because I think I've read them all. Um, where he said something like, someone was telling him about a very fancy retreat at like a place like Esalen. And he said, look, like the only thing, like he said something like, if you just spend 1 year listening to your breath, listening to your breath right here, inhale, exhale, and just listen to your breath, that would actually be much more effective than spending, $25,000 on 10 different retreats at all these like amazing spiritual centers around the world, you know? And he does have a point. It's, the path of least resistance, the path of simplicity is the right path. That is the full path. That is the only path that you actually need. It's like, even with ayahuasca and psilocybin and all the other amazing healing medicines, they all bring you back to this very simple place of like one concept, which is we are love. Like, you are love, we are love, and we're all interconnected. Like, that's kind of all of it. That's every spiritual teaching in a nutshell. So why do you really need more? Why do you need to go sit with toad medicine every 6 months to just remember that you are one with all, to remember that you are God consciousness? It's very simple to just remember it if you can just tap into it every single day. Go sit quietly for 20 minutes, doesn't have to be a formal meditation, but just go sit quietly or go out in nature. Go sit there and stare at an ant crawling around. I always love using that analogy because I've had the most profound experiences just sitting there staring at like a leaf blowing. It's like it's always the path of least resistance. It's not the path of more, more, more. So this is, I know, probably resonating with a lot of you. And I know this because I've spent my whole life on this path. I've been working with psychedelics since I was quite young, since I was a teenager. I've been on a spiritual exploration path since around, my teenage years. And I've studied this. I've done all the things. I've done all the medicine. I've done all the silent retreats and the meditations and everything. And I still do them to a point. But now there is this knowing that it's like, well, all we need is the present moment. And all we need is this realization that I am love. I am God consciousness. I am God, and that's it. So everything's actually okay and there's nothing really to heal. I think it's a lot of this is the construct of the ego that just, wants to keep us, you know, feeling bad and staying small and playing small and limited and in our fear and in our doubts and in our disbelief. And it really takes being vigilant to get past all these limited thinking, this limited thinking of that I must heal before, or I must do more before I can help. And it's like, well, if you stop and take a look at it, the reality is we are here on this planet during a very interesting, challenging time. We are going through a lot of changes. Everybody can feel this. There's waves of energies and challenges coming and going, like up and down and up and down. And we're going to be feeling this for a while. So, what are you waiting for? Like, why are you waiting to heal before you can help others through this transformational time? If you have something calling inside of you, don't wait. Don't put it aside, because what's going to happen? It's like, are you waiting to be 80 years old before you can help people? Are you going to wait until you make your first million to then be able to go do what you want to do for a living? I mean, it's like you're just going to be stuck in this cycle of in this loop, and you're never going to get out of it unless you actually choose the decision to stop and say, okay, what is the truth of my heart? What do I really want in life? And am I okay to just start on it now? And the answer is yes. You are perfectly, beautifully okay and beyond okay. You are absolutely perfect exactly as you are now. So stop the healing and start the service, start the helping, and you will actually see how much this helps your healing and expedites this path of growth and personal development in itself. So I hope this has been helpful. I would love to hear what you think. I know this might be controversial for some people, and I just find it really interesting that the irony is on this podcast where I speak about the interconnection between psychedelic sacred medicine's purpose and transformational entrepreneurship. I'm also saying, like, you don't need any of it. You just need to go do it. But that is the truth. It's like when I stop to tell the truth of this world and the business and how it really works and how you can actually make a lot of money doing work you love, it's actually the path of super simple least resistance. So stop overcomplicating things, stop doing, and just be present and be in your heart. And that is the path. That is the answer to everything. So I would love to hear what you think. Again, please leave a positive review, or any review really, if this podcast has had any impact. And please be sure to share it with others. This is how we can reach more people and create transformation on the planet. Thank you so much for listening, and have a wonderful day. I'll see you next week.